OC. Viewer discretion is advised. Incoming transmission in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Outcasted OC, covering this week's NXT, the post-Vengeance Day show. We've got a lot to talk about here, especially when it comes to CARMELO Hayes, and we've got a really, good card, to be fair, like a good few matches, so let's get straight into it. Well, actually, let's not. Before we do get straight into it, how about you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you have just, come across us. If you've just noticed that we're talking about wrestling and you're a fan of wrestling, how about you join the crew, guys? We've just recently hit 250 subscribers yesterday, so thanks very much for that. Halfway to 500. The road to 500 is well on the way to be getting there. Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that. But let's start off with NXT, guys. We start off by hearing that Byron Saxton is the commentator. I wasn't sure why until like halfway through the show when we also found out that apparently Booker T is in hospital. I don't know if that's real or kayfabe, but if if it's not kayfabe, I hope you get well, Booker. I don't actually know why he is in hospital. But straight into it, CARMELO Hayes music's hit. Oh my God, like the crowd just does not give him a chance to even speak here. Like there's not much to even talk about in this segment because it's literally just CARMELO Hayes getting into the ring. He puts a chair down, he sits down, he's about to put the microphone to his mouth, and the fans are just not letting him speak. Like the fans are just like, F you, Mello, you're not him, we want Trick, whoop that Trick. Like the fans are just not letting him get like anything in whatsoever. So he stands up and goes, not now, takes the chair and goes to the back. And that's when the commercials hit. When we get back, the Wolf Dogs are in the ring bragging about how they won the Dusty Tag Team Classic and they want the family for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Baron Corbin is bragging about how his name is first on the Dusty Cup. We get a good look at the Dusty Cup and all the past winners, and it's kind of weird to see all the past winners because there's a lot of people that aren't there anymore. Obviously we've got the first winners who are Finn Balor and Samoa Joe, who is the current AEW champion. So it's weird to see his name on there. We then see Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole's name, the Undisputed Era, which, God, that makes me sad. I want him back in WWE. I just want the Undisputed Era back. It's not the same. The Undisputed Kingdom isn't the same. I don't care. We also see MSK on there. Obviously, we still got Wesley, but we haven't got Nash Carter for other reasons that I'm not going to go into. But it's weird to see his name on TV. But obviously, then, you get the Creed brothers who are now on Monday Night Raw. And then we got Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker, who brag about being the Dusty Cup champions, like I said. Braun Breaker is still trying to push this Wolf Dog's name that Baron Corbin does not like. They go to call out the NXT Tag Team Champions, the family, Tony D'Angelo and Stacks, but instead, Nathan Fraser and Axiom come out to prepare for their match against Idris Enofe and Malik Blade that is coming up next. So what do Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin do? They get on commentary. They're going to be on commentary for this next tag team match. It is going to be, like I said, Malik and Idris versus Nathan and Axiom. And I tell you what, guys, this might be, tag team-wise, one of the matches of the year so far in WWE. Really solid match here. Like, obviously, these four guys are, fast-paced, especially Nathan Fraser and Axiom. This might be Malik's and Idris's best match of the career so far on NXT, so it's great to see that. The fans are really into this. We get a fight forever chant, but it's not to be for Malik and Idris. The golden ratio does get hit. 1, 2, 3. Nathan and Axiom win. There was a bit of a heelish sort of vibe going on from Vengeance Day when it comes to Nathan Fraser. So hopefully they're going to be building on that, and like maybe we're going to be seeing a little bit more of that. He's been a bit cocky, he's been a bit arrogant, So let's hope we see a little bit more of that. Like let's hope that actually goes somewhere. But I'm happy to see that Malik and Idris are getting their stuff in, to see improvements from those guys because I actually really like those two. Maybe Brinley Reese has been good for him. I can't believe him saying that. So next week they're probably going to be going over the positives and negatives of that match, the 5 positives and the 5 negatives. I wonder if they're able to write them down and improve next week. Only time will tell, I suppose. After this match, Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker just get in the ring and throw throw all of the people out of the ring, and just like basically again call out the family, which they actually do come out. I, I don't know why they didn't come out in the first place. I thought that was a bit strange. But Baron Corbin and Brawl Breaker say we want this match next week. Let's do it. Basically, like we'll put those tag team titles on the line next week, and the family accepts. So let's hope Ava makes that match for next week. We later find out that she does. So we do have an NXT Tag Team Championship match next week. I wonder how that's going to go down, because with Braun Breaker going up to the main roster, I don't see them winning the tag team championships. Obviously, I don't watch the tapes, if there's any tapes, if it's already out yet. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if they do win. I don't really want them to lose, because obviously, you know, the Dusty Cup is quite. It usually produces champions. But at the same time, I don't really want the family to lose per se. So, you know, I'm a bit 50-50 on this. It's going to be a good match. Don't get me wrong, but I am a bit 50-50 on it. You know, just sitting on the fence, putting some splinters in my backside, a little bit like Joe Gacy when he went through that table a couple of weeks ago in NXT. Well, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Ilya Dragunov, Kathy Kelly is about to interview Ilya Dragunov, and he says, like, now is not the time for us to have a conversation. He's going to go down to the ring because he wants some answers from that treacherous Carmelo Hayes. Ilya Dragunov gets in the ring and he starts talking. He's basically saying how much he respects Trick Williams, how much he likes Trick Williams, but he couldn't let him slay the Mad Dragon at Vengeance Day. But he gave it his all. But now it's not about him. It is about that treacherous son of a bitch, Carmelo Hayes. And as the NXT champion, it is his job to call him out and get some answers from him. So he calls him out. He waits and waits, and Carmelo Hayes does not come out to the ring. Instead, DIJAK comes out to the ring and basically says, you know, 2 winners at NXT Vengeance Day, me and you on top. You see what I did to Joe Gacy? You got injured. Look at that nose. And then basically, I think he's angling for an NXT Championship match here, but he hits Ilya Dragunov. Ilya Dragunov doesn't really want the fight before this. Like, you know, he says, like, you know, when we meet again, I will break you like you've never been broke before. But for now, this is about Carmelo Hayes, so I need you to get out of my way. That is when DIJAK hits him, and then a brawl ensues, making a match for later on tonight. We're getting DIJAK versus Ilya Dragunov, non-title match. Let's see if DIJAK can pull off the victory and get a future championship match. I would quite like to see that. I don't know if I'm in the minority, but those two had a really good match last year, so I kind of want to see that again. I'm not going to lie. We now go backstage to JC Jane, where she's talking about how happy she is with the calendar sales. She's very happy that the way things are going. They sold out in the first 30 seconds of them going on sale. Was it 30 seconds or 30 minutes? It was 30 something. Now that I've said 30 minutes, that sounds more likely. After Vengeance Day, when they went on sale, they sold out in the first 30 minutes. Let's say that. Thea Hale is absolutely buzzing with all that. She also wants to go and watch Riley Osborne have his match with Lexis King, but JC says no. You got to play it. You got to play hard to get. You've already got the Valentine's Day date. You know, don't make yourself too available. And Thea Hale doesn't really know how she feels about this. She's like, "Are you sure?" JC's like, "Have you ever doubted me before?" No. And look what's happened. Like, I have saved Chase University. So Thea Hale, agrees, and she goes along with JC Jane. Later on, well, not later on, to be honest with you. It's literally coming up. But before we get there, Von Wagner in a segment is disappointed about how it went down with Noam Dar and Metaphor a couple of weeks ago when he challenged for the Heritage Cup. Stone says basically, don't worry about it. It was your first time at the Heritage Cup. Noam Dar is a champion. He's been doing this for a long time, so don't beat yourself up about it. The Bash Brothers, obviously Stone's 2 sons, come up and say, Von, you need to still do something about Noam Dar. Sorry, I'm really excited because we're talking about Von Wagner. It's my favorite thing. You need to still do something about Noam Dar. Von Wagner says, I want to put Aura Men's ass through the table, but he stops because he realizes the kids are there, and he goes, I put Aura through a table. And then eventually this ends with the best result. Robert Stone agrees to tag team with Von Wagner to take care of the Metaphor of Noam Dar and Aura Mensa. We're getting a tag team of Robert Stone and Von Wagner. Yeah, I don't how can that get any better? We're getting the best thing about NXT, Von Wagner. We're getting the best manager in WWE, Robert Stone, and we're getting the Bash Brothers as hopefully managers of that tag team. And then one of the Bash Brothers turns around and goes, remember, Dad, sneak attacks. So Let's see how that turns out. I don't know if they're going to win. I doubt they're going to win, but it'd be great to see if they did. It'd be dope. Let's go to the match that we were talking about previously. We're going to Riley Osborne versus Lexis King. This spawns from Vengeance Day when Lexis King was being creepy to Thea Hale and Riley Osborne stood up for her. Not really much to talk about in this match, just like every single other Lexis King match, except at the end when Riley Osborne goes up to the top rope, goes for the moonsault, sees if Thea Hale is in the crowd, realizes she's not, gets distracted, gets hit from behind by Lexis King. Lexis goes for the coronation for the 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Lexis King wins this match. Who cares? Later on in the night, Riley Osborne goes to ask why Thea Hale wasn't there. Thea says, you know, she was just doing woman stuff. You wouldn't understand. She was very, very busy. Riley says, are we still down for, you know, Valentine's Day? And Thea gets very, very excited and says, yes, yes, yes. And when he walks away, Thea Hale turns around to JCJ and says, yeah, I played that cool. Yeah, you played it really cool, Thea. Well done. What happens after this, guys? Like this night, like goes very quickly. I'm not gonna lie. Like when you put all the, when you put all the segments together, like this night moved very fast. And we get another backstage segment here where Kiana James just takes a coffee off of Brindley Reese and realizes she doesn't like the coffee and then throws it away. Basically being bullies. Her and Izzy Dane being bullies to Brindley Reese. Hopefully that'll get resolved because Brindley Reese is a positive person. So hopefully she can bring that positivity to the ring and beat Kiana James because apparently that match is happening next week. MELO gets back in the ring. We go back to Carmelo Hayes, who is back in the ring where there is just a spotlight there. He is sat in the same chair that he was earlier on in the night. And he goes to say, well, several times. He tries to say several times, but the crowd just won't let him speak. They're still chanting, whoop that trick. They're still chanting, you're not him. They're still chanting, F you, MELO. They're still chanting, MELO sucks. Like, the crowd are all over Carmelo Hayes in this. And he eventually gets out and he eventually says, the villain is always the villain when the hero is telling the story. Why does nobody want to hear my side of the story? Trick Williams, you say that I turned on you. Well, you did it to me first. We had an agreement. You said you was going to go after the North American Championship, and I was going to go after the NXT Championship. But you started believing your own hype, and you started to go after something that was mine. You forgot your place in this relationship. You are just the hype man. I am him. You listen to all of this hype around you, and look what happened. And everyone, like, the $1 million question is, did I attack Trick Williams? And he confirms and he says, you're damn right I did. I did attack Trick Williams. I think we all saw this coming. We did all see this coming, but it's been a great storytelling, to be fair. It dragged on for a little bit, but obviously, like I said, this is going to be the main event of Stand and Deliver. I've been saying that since like October. Definitely going to be the main event of Stand and Deliver, Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. It doesn't need to be for any titles, in my opinion. Trick Williams' music hits. It goes on for a while. The crowd go absolutely crazy until Carmelo Hayes starts laughing in the ring and says, wow, doesn't take much to get one over on you guys, does it? He did the classic Shawn Michaels Bret Hart thing when he was in Montreal. I thought that was really good, to be fair. He ends the segment by saying, you are just my hype man, and that's all it is, and that's all you'll ever be. Spoiler alert, we don't actually see Trick Williams tonight. So, I'm assuming that'll get resolved, well, not resolved. I'm sure the story will carry on next week or hopefully hopefully somewhere quick, because I want to see Trick Williams back on my screen, baby. I want to see this rivalry pick up into like second, third, fourth gear before we get to Stand and Deliver. I have no doubt that it will. It's been well laid so far, so I'm excited. But that is not the last time we will see Carmelo Hayes tonight. Spoiler alert. But let's move on for now. We get a sort of teaser package, the same that we did for Vengeance Day. Apparently, there are 3 faces of man. The one that the world sees, the one that the family sees, and the one that nobody sees. And nobody knows how evil that face truly is. I'm not sure who this is a promo for. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously Ross, fellow Outcasted member, was talking about how this could be a promo for is her name Toxic Cloud or something, or Julia? It could be one of them. If it is, then I've not seen much of her stuff. I'm excited for the people who have seen their stuff. So, you know, fair play. If it is, I'm excited to see where these promos go. I don't know when they're going to debut, but hopefully it'll be soon because I kind of want to see more of this. We now go back to the ring where we have Roxanne Perez versus Lola Vice. I'm really surprised about how quickly this match is taking place. Obviously, there was a brawl after the triple threat at Vengeance Day between Lola Vice and Roxanne Perez, but I think maybe that WWE are maybe blowing their load a little bit too quickly here because I think there should have been a #1 contenders match. The winner facing Lyra Valkyria at Stand and Deliver or Roadblock, whatever comes first. But there's not much to say in this match, to be honest with you. Both of them get the stuff in. Good submissions from either one of these people. Like, to be honest with you, like Roxanne Perez isn't a submission specialist, but she gets some decent submissions in here. Obviously, Lola Vice, the MMA background, we know what she's all about. She does the kicks in the corner, like them multiple kicks. I don't know how to describe them. But yes, she does them, and then she goes for the it's kind of the Rikishi or the Uso, like, you know, basically she shoves her ass in Roxanne Perez's face, where the camera like focuses on it for a little bit, like, yeah, we get it, she's got a nice ass, camera. Like, if anyone sees her Instagram, like, we all know this. What I thought was interesting about this though, Lola Vice goes for a spinning backfist. She hits it on Roxanne Perez. This knocks Roxanne Perez down. Tatum Paxley comes down to the ring and tries to cash in a contract, even though she doesn't even have a contract. It's just a major distraction for both of these ladies. Lola Vice hits Buenas Noches on Tatum Paxley, but turns around straight into Pop Rocks from Roxanne Perez for the 1-2-3. I'm assuming Lola Vice is now going to have a problem with Tatum Paxley because she just costed this match. But what is going on here? Lyra Valkyria obviously didn't send Tatum Paxley out there, or did she? But I doubt it. But it would be, you know, it would be interesting all in all, like, you know, if Tatum Paxley actually turned out to be working for Lyra Valkyria after all this time. I think that would have been cool. But Roxanne Perez with a big victory here. Roxanne Perez probably going to get a rematch at Stand and Deliver against Lyra Valkyria. Or if it's another triple threat match, I'll be happy with that as well, because it was a really good match at Vengeance Day between these three people. They had a really great chemistry. We now go backstage to where the Metaphor are talking about all the stuff that's been going on, how Jakara Jackson and Last Legend are going to be, you know, taking care of these two rookies. Well, one of them is a rookie, one of them is Fallon Henley, but I believe they both called both of them rookies, but that was a bit weird, I suppose. The Catch Club thing, basically Drew Gulak's team then look at Noam Dar and say you should be focusing on us instead of giving stupid challenges out to Von Wagner and Robert Stone. So it looks like maybe one of the catchers can catch it. I can't even say it. The submission guys, okay? Damon Kemp, Drew Gulak, right? What's his name? Not Riley Osborne. The other one, Miles Bourne. That's his name. And Dempsey, William Regal's son. God, I am running a blank on that team. I don't know why. Charlie Dempsey, that's why. God, I was running such a blank there. Jesus, that hurt my brain physically. It looks like we're probably one of those people who are going to be challenging for the Heritage Cup in a couple of weeks, which will be cool. I don't know if they're going to win, but, you know, it'd be a nice competition. We now go to the ring where we have Metaphor, as in Last Legend, and Jakara Jackson versus Ren Sinclair and Fallon Henley. Not going to lie, guys, not really much to say about this match. It was a solid match for the Metaphor. It was pretty much a dominant performance from the Metaphor, getting all of their stuff in. 1, 2, 3, the Metaphor win. I don't really have much to say about this match. I feel kind of bad because I like giving, you know, some details about this match, but there was nothing really to say. I'm not going to lie. We now go backstage to where Josh Briggs is having a conversation with a couple of people about how, you know, everyone's talking about Ilya Dragunov and Trick Williams, but I was focused on maybe Dragon Lee. And you know, the Obafemi match. It looks like Josh Briggs is maybe angling himself for a North American Championship match against Obafemi. I would quite like to see that. Obafemi versus Josh Briggs. That sounds like a cool match. Two big meaty men slapping meat. He is then approached by Brooks Jensen, who asks, you know, did you see the Fallon Henley match? Josh Briggs says, yeah. Brooks Jensen for a minute, you know, claims that he's doing all right. And then he breaks down and says he's not. But then he gets a lot of tough love from Josh Briggs and basically says to man up and do something about it and like carve your own path. You have people there in the Performance Center who are just waiting to take your spot. So you need to do something about it. He pushes him against the wall and tells him to man up. I was like, all right, Josh, calm down. Jeez. I thought this was like a massive overreaction. Like Josh Briggs like really gave it to him hard, to be fair. That sounds weird out of context, but watch NXT and it won't sound weird anymore, okay? Next, we stay backstage to where Ava is talking to a few people here. First of all, she's talking to Jada Parker from OTM, who wants Rizzo one-on-one next week. Ava says as long as OTM is banned from ringside, because the family are also banned from ringside because they have a tag team championship match next week, Jada accepts. Rich Holland then walks up to Ava and says, give me Gallus. Did you see what they did to my leg last week? Ava is still saying no about the 3-on-1 handicap match between Ridge Holland and All of Gallus, but I tell you what she will do for him. She will give him a gauntlet match between Gallus and Ridge Holland. Basically, if you don't know what a gauntlet match is, one person comes out at a time. If Ridge Holland is able to beat that person, obviously someone else will then come out. If he's able to beat that person, I'm assuming the last person will be Joe Coffey. That's how he's going to face All of Gallus. Will he get through them all? Who knows? That'll be an interesting match to see in a couple of weeks. I'm sure I didn't see the advertisement for it happening next week, so I'm assuming it's the week after. I love a gauntlet match. I always love to see a gauntlet match. It's one of those matches that's like kind of like a sweet favorite for me. Like, you don't see many of them. Like the whole Kofi Mania one a couple of years ago, in 2019 before WrestleMania, that was dope to see. I really loved that gauntlet match. It was dope. So I'm a big fan of the gauntlet match. I believe they're bringing it back on 2K24 as well, so I'm happy about that. Speaking of something that I'm very happy about, we get the main event now: Ilya Dragunov versus DIJAK. I would talk about some great spots in this match, guys, but there weren't many great spots per se. It was just two men beating the holy crap out of each other. Obviously, DIJAK has that busted up elbow from the match with Joe Gacy at Vengeance Day. Obviously, Ilya Dragunov has a broken nose from his match with Trick Williams at Vengeance Day. So these two people are just beating the crap out of each other. And DIJAK just keeps hitting Ilya Dragunov in the face with his elbows, with his palms, with everything. It looks very painful. It's really cool to see. It does remind me a lot of the match that they had last year, like a sleeper match of the year last year between Ilya Dragunov and DIJAK. That was also very good. Even people who weren't fans of DIJAK were telling me that they really enjoyed the match last year. So this is just a repeat of great things that happened in 2023 for me. But yeah, these two just kicking each other, just beating the holy hell out of each other, like top rope maneuvers. DIJAK goes for towards the end of the match. DIJAK goes for a springboard elbow. He does hit it, but he hits it with the injured elbow. So obviously he sells that move. Ilya Dragunov is able to capitalize and recover. There's a funny bit here where like Ilya Dragunov has got a submission on DIJAK where DIJAK drags himself under the rope. Joe Gacy appears from under the ring and like looks up at him. DIJAK has been paranoid about Joe Gacy for this whole match. He keeps looking under the ring, but then Joe Gacy finally shows himself, and that distracts. It distracts DIJAK long enough to be hit with the H-bomb for the 1-2-3. DIJAK does get defeated by Ilya Dragunov. I don't know if this is over between him and DIJAK. I would quite like to see DIJAK, like I say, have a NXT Championship match. That'd be really cool, but I don't know if that's on the cards for the in the near future. But I tell you what is on the cards, because after the match, Ilya Dragunov gets jumped by none other than CARMELO Hayes. Hayes is able to capitalize on Ilya Dragunov being distracted and injured and beats him down. And that's how the show ends. It ends with CARMELO Hayes seemingly picking up the championship, and he looks like that's what he's going for. Again, this is strange, okay? Because on the main roster, on SmackDown, CARMELO Hayes is kind of being booked as a face, but he's like one of the most dastardliest heels in NXT. It's kind of interesting to see the dynamic here. I don't think he's going to be capturing from the NXT Championship the next time him and Ilya Dragunov have a match, because obviously he's going to go up to the main roster. I'm assuming he's going to be going up to SmackDown. But that was the end of NXT, guys. What did you think of the post-show from Vengeance Day? Let me know what you think in the comments. If you like this video, make sure you leave a thumbs up and leave a comment to see, just to say if you agree with anything that I've said. If you disagree, I'm willing to have that conversation as well, guys. Stay tuned for the podcast tomorrow. We're going to be having a great conversation there. On Saturday, we're going to be talking all about SmackDown. Either G or Ross is going to be covering that. If you want to check out the Raw review from yesterday, Court did a fantastic job there. Make sure you go and give that a like and show some love. If you want to go follow us, guys, Outcasted is on TikTok, X, and Instagram. That does also include all of our individual channels in the description. But for now, guys, I hope you have a fantastic Wednesday. I hope you enjoyed NXT. But peace out, guys, from Outcasted. For me, thank you again for 250 subscribers. Much love.